Hi guys, I'm making another video today. I'm gonna try saying less. Today I'm gonna talk about how the Marvel Multiverse works. So, first of all, DC, they have a weird multiverse because they'll have their comic multiverse, which I cannot draw on computer, so each circle represents a multiverse. They have a very specific structured comic multiverse, and those are the only universes in that multiverse. That'll be like Earth Zero or whatever. Let me erase that monstrosity. Okay, but with Marvel, anything Marvel is in the Marvel multiverse. So, there'll be the original Marvel universe from the original comics that are still going on today. That'll be, which is called Earth 616. I'm not going to write numbers out for all these, but this is the main Marvel universe. It is at the center of everything. And here's where it gets complicated and some people get confused. Maybe this... Oh, no, that doesn't work. Seeing if a touchpad worked, because this laptop has a touchpad. Anyway, so the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is where... So first of all, there will be universes that are close to 616, but vary in different ways, like tiny ways. Art class, this will get me into art school. So you'll have universes that are close to 616, but different, like something different happened. Then you'll have completely different universes, and this all happens under one multiverse. You'll have universes that are very different, but similar, like you'll have the Ultimate Universe. Now here's where people get confused. The MCU cannot have its own multiverse, because the MCU is part of the Marvel Comics multiverse. It's Earth 19999 or something, I forget, but it's part of the multiverse, and that's why, like, the 616 heroes have traveled here before. In Exiles, that comic series, Valkyrie from Thor Ragnarok is one of the heroes from the MCU. It's all under this big multiverse. So then it will get specific, like really specific. So the tiniest things can make it be a different universe. Like, let's take a game, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. There's a lot of inconsistencies with that one. So it will be like Earth 616, but it'll be a tiny bit different. Now, this is kind of about Spider-Man games again, but something people are still debating is Shattered Dimensions, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and Spider-Man Edge of Time. People are still debating if that takes place in 616, because it fits nicely if you put it there, but at the same time, when 616 Spider-Man meets the same heroes in the Spider-Verse event, I at least don't think he acknowledges any of them, but maybe there's too many and he just forgets, but it gets complicated in a sec. But so, need to think before I talk. So the problem is, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, its direct sequel was Spider-Man Edge of Time, like it was confirmed to be a sequel in the game. They talk about the last game. But here's where it gets complicated. Well, not even as complicated as it will get later on, but these tiny inconsistencies in the continuity. Let me show you. So in the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, this is the Amazing Spider-Man, who is Earth 616. There's Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man 2099, and also Ultimate Spider-Man, but he's in the black suit. All the patterns are super neat and everything's parallel, and nothing's out of order, and it looks like a super professional suit. Here, now let me go to what it looked like in Edge of Time. Now this is Edge of Time, the direct sequel to that game, the exact same Spider-Man from the previous game and from the comics, Earth 616, but that's not the point right now. The comics can apply because there's many different art styles, but this is where the problems come in. Why are the webs all abstract and less organized than in Shattered Dimensions, where it was organized and everything was parallel? It could be because in this game the timeline gets changed, and you could say maybe his suit gets changed, so that could be an explanation, but then even after, his suit is still like this. Maybe it's not, maybe it's organized again. But anyway, that's just one inconsistency, but this more has to deal with art styles and not with multiverse. Now here's where it gets complicated. I'm using Spider-Man stories as an example because a lot of the stories have to deal with multiverses compared to the other Marvel heroes. Let me erase this artwork first. Almost done. Cut that out of the video. But I won't because I don't know how to edit. Anyway, so then you have okay, so the thing is, you cannot have multiple 616s. Like, the MCU isn't the 616 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe since it's part of the comics multiverse. There are no 616s, but there's no exceptions to the rule. It can only be something that happened in that comics universe. There can't be another universe called the 616 of that multiverse. But here's the problem. So the Spider-Verse event, there was Earth 616. There was Miles Morales, who was in the Ultimate Universe at that time. A bunch of other spider people. But then you have that new movie coming out, Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. This is the problem with all the new Miles Morales stuff and other media, because the Ultimate Universe is supposed to be its own unique universe, but let's say this is Miles Morales from Spider-Verse of the So there was actually Ultimate Spider-Man, the TV show, had a Spider-Verse event, and Ultimate Spider-Man from the TV show was in the comic Spider-Man event. So that then he goes on to have his own event with his own Miles and his own Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man Noir. The thing is, this 29 is different from this 29, let's say. This Miles is different from the Miles of the 1610. This Miles, they try to make it like it's adapting a comic storyline, which it is. But it creates an alternate Miles. So now there's two different Ultimate Universes. They're different. Like, the original will always be called 1610, and that'll be different. But it's still confusing because Ultimate Spider-Man of the TV show, not the comics, won't refer to the adventure he had with the other Spider-Man earlier. And that's when the show starts messing with Earth 616 continuity, which is really bad. Here, maybe there's an easier way I can draw this out, because explaining this to someone is the worst. So this is Ultimate Spider-Man of the TV show. He had a whole Spider-Verse adventure. Then he goes into his TV show and has his own little Spider-Verse adventure with his own different versions of the same alternate versions. So you have 616 Spider-Man, which is like the basic point. Then you have an alternate Spider-Man, Ultimate Miles Morales, other alternate Spider-Mans. So TV show Spider-Man goes here. But then he has alternate versions of the already alternate characters. So you can't call Miles that you saw in the TV show Ultimate Spider-Man because he's not from the original Ultimate Universe. It's super complicated and confusing, but that's why alternate universe stories don't really work in movies and shows with Marvel, at least, because DC makes sense because they have multiple multiverses, but everything in Marvel's under one multiverse. There's a better way to explain this. But then you'll have another version of Miles in their new movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And it will be alternate from these two other Miles, and their original Miles is already supposed to be an alternate version. So then you have an alternate of the alternate, and then you have an alternate of the alternate of the alternate treated as the main. And then you have an adult Spider-Man they're putting in the movie, and that's not the original because it won't connect continuity-wise. So you have an alternate of the original going through three other alternate. This is why this is why. One sec, gonna delete the drawing. Okay, this is why it's complicated when you have a multiverse. And here's an example. You had the Ultimate Universe, and then they made a movie called Ultimate Avengers, which was adaptation of the Ultimate. That's an alternate universe. That's an alternate version of the Ultimates, but they treat it as if, oh no, this is just it animated. There was a Black Panther comic. Everything got animated into a little mini TV series. Not TV, but maybe it was on TV. I don't think so. It was in a show. But there was little inconsistencies, like Rhino was in this one, Juggernaut was in this one. That makes this an alternate universe. It's super hard to explain. I wish there was a better way to explain. But because then the whole point of the Ultimate Universe was it was this one unique universe among all the 616 alternates, because it was truly completely different. But then when you keep on making alternate versions of that's how it could work. It could be all the Miles could just be, I don't know. What confuses it even more is Miles Morales. The name of the TV show Ultimate Spider-Man confused people even more because there was a comic series called Ultimate Spider-Man that had the 1610 Earth in it. But that's how it gets confusing when everything's under one multiverse, because then you get alternates of alternates. So, because the Spider-Verse in the comics is supposed to include all Spider-Men, but somehow it didn't include the ones from the TV show, which were Spider-Man that appeared in this, but they were not the same, so they were alternate versions. But then you have the Enter the Spider-Verse movie. If this included all Spider-Man throughout the multiverse, which is under the huge thing of all Marvel properties are part of its multiverse, then how come these Spider-Man don't remember being in the huge crossover event with... Maybe I can explain this better if I did a video and took out my comics and showed it, because I have the whole Spider-Verse event. I don't have the issue where Miles went with Ultimate TV show Peter, though. But then you could say maybe it gets even more confusing because the Marvel animated universe is all screwed up right now because they retconned the whole Marvel Ultimate Spider-Man show out of continuity almost. Super confusing. Anyway, I know half of the people didn't get what I was saying because my art masterpieces weren't exactly understandable, but it was more just to lead my mind because I didn't know what I was saying. Because drawing makes you visualize what I'm saying better. Anyway, I'm running out of time on the video, so If there's a better way you think I can explain it, tell me in the comments. Okay, bye.